Today, we're going to tackle maybe the biggest question of all. What exactly is consciousness? And we're going to explore this mystery through the eyes of author Michael Pollan, whose own journeys into the mind uncover this whole universe of questions that, honestly, science still can't answer. Let's get into it. You know, this quote really captures the whole spirit of what we're doing today. We're not hunting for some single, neat little answer. Nope. We're here to just embrace the wonder of the question itself. So, like Pollan says, it's going to be a fun ride. So, where do you even begin with a question this huge? Well, how about with a story? It's about a pretty simple bet, just a scientist and a philosopher and a case of fine wine. But this wager tells you just how deep this mystery really goes.
All right, section 1, the unsolvable bet.
Okay, so back in the early 90s, you've got this neuroscientist, Christoph Koch, and he is so confident, so sure that science is about to pinpoint the source of consciousness in the brain, that he bets philosopher David Chalmers a case of fine wine that it'll all be solved within 25 years. Well, fast forward to 2018, and Koch had to concede. Chalmers won the bet, because after a whole quarter century of research, science was basically no closer to solving what Chalmers calls the hard problem, which is, how does the physical stuff of your brain create the actual feeling of being you? So, with the problem still totally unsolved, a few competing theories have popped up. Let's take a look at the three big ones. First up is materialism. This is kind of the default setting for most scientists. The idea here is that consciousness is just something that emerges from the brain's complexity. You know, like how millions of water molecules create the property of wetness? If you get enough neurons firing in just the right way, poof, subjective experience just appears. Next, we've got the receiver theory. This one suggests the brain doesn't create consciousness at all. It's more like an antenna or maybe a TV set. Consciousness is like this universal field, this broadcast signal that's all around us, and our brain is just tuning into it. So if the antenna gets damaged, yeah, the signal gets fuzzy, but the broadcast itself is still out there. And our last theory is, well, it's the most mind-bending of all of them, panpsychism. This idea says that consciousness didn't evolve with life, it was always here. It's a fundamental property of the universe itself, just woven right into the fabric of matter, from a single tiny atom to an entire galaxy. But here's the thing, none of these theories gets off easy. Materialism is still completely stuck on the hard problem. How does matter become mind? And panpsychism? It faces something called the combination problem. Okay, so if every little particle has a tiny spark of consciousness, how do trillions of them combine to form the single, unified, coherent experience of being you? These theories are fascinating, for sure, but they're also super abstract. So how can we actually investigate consciousness for ourselves? Well, as Pollan found out, there are a lot of paths into our own inner space. It turns out humans have come up with this whole toolkit for this kind of inner exploration. I mean, everything from altered states that come from psychedelics or deep meditation, all the way to the everyday clarity you find in nature or art, or that focus of a flow state. There are just countless ways to explore the landscape of your own mind. Michael Pollan heard this incredibly powerful line from a Zen teacher, and it points to a way of knowing that just completely bypasses theory and intellect. It's about letting go of the need to constantly label and analyze everything, and instead just embracing the direct, raw, unedited experience of the moment. And Pollan actually experienced this firsthand. After spending days completely alone, he discovered that our solid sense of self isn't nearly as fixed as we think it is. A lot of it is defined by how we interact with other people. And when you take that away, the edges of yourself start to soften, and they reveal this more fundamental, less personal layer of consciousness underneath. So, exploring our inner world is one thing, but what happens when that world is being invaded? This brings us to what might be the central conflict of our modern age. This is such a crucial shift to understand. For years, we worried about social media algorithms stealing our focus, right? But with the rise of AI chatbots, the threat has totally evolved. It's not just about our attention anymore, it's about our very sense of connection and even reality itself. Get this, a recent study found that a jaw-dropping 72% of American teens now turn to AI for companionship. 72%. This is not some far-off, distant future problem. No, it is happening right now, at a speed and a scale that is just completely unprecedented. Pollan's warning here is really stark. that private interior space where we daydream, where we reflect, where we form genuine human connections, that's being outsourced to synthetic relationships. We're trading authenticity for algorithms, and in the process, we're squandering what might be our most precious gift. So, with this new threat looming, what can we actually do about it? Well, this final part is all about how we can take back control. Pollan offers this really powerful idea, consciousness hygiene. This isn't about throwing away all technology. It's about being deliberate. It's the practice of actively cleaning out and protecting our mental space. Basically, treating it like something sacred.
And the steps are actually surprisingly simple. First, fast from tech. That just means intentionally leave your phone behind sometimes. Be present. Next, and this is a big one, cultivate what Pollan calls generative boredom. Resist that urge to fill every single empty moment with scrolling. Just let your mind have the space to wander. And finally, actively seek out awe and flow, those real-world experiences that remind us what our consciousness is truly capable of.
Look, in the end, the great mystery of consciousness may never be totally solved by science. But the experience of it, that is ours to protect, ours to explore, and ours to appreciate. It's the last truly private place we have. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with it?